Hello, I am Denise Forrest, Coordinator for Early Childhood Special Education in Fairfax County Public Schools. I'm going to share information with you about parent coaching in the early childhood programs. The outcomes for this presentation is to have a shared understanding of the importance of coaching and to formalize the coaching process and cycle. Here is the agenda. We will start with a grounding activity. We will identify the definition of parent coaching, look at research, learn the parent coaching cycle, and do a reflection activity. So as a grounding, what does coaching mean to you? Please pause this presentation and reflect and write what coaching means to you. Welcome back. Coaching is an interaction style that builds the capacity of the learner. It is a framework for interacting with other adults. This framework can be paired with the content that needs to be learned. For example, you could use the coaching framework to build the capacity of a parent to prompt towards independence. Parent coaching uses five research-based characteristics. Dathan Rush and Melissa Sheldon have defined these characteristics as you see on the screen. Coaching doesn't come naturally, it takes practice. The more you practice these characteristics, the better you become at coaching. Let's start with our first characteristic, joint planning. The definition is an agreement by both the coach and the learner on the actions to be taken by the coach and or the learner, or the opportunities to practice between coaching visits. What does this look like? The coach and the learner discuss what has happened since the last interaction and what they would like to focus on during the current interaction. At the beginning of a visit, you review the past visit plan, question the parent about how the plan was successful, or if it wasn't, why the parent thinks it was not successful. The parent's response will help to shape the current visit. At the end of the visit, work with the parent to create a new plan with the work that the family can do moving forward until you meet again. In joint planning, you ask the question, what do you want to focus on? Versus, how about you try this? Don't lose the jointness of the planning with how you ask your question. Other ways to do this? Tell me what you would like to focus on for the next week. What is the best way that you could get your child to do X? Is there anything else you would like to work on? What do you think should be next steps? Through joint planning, parents have better buy-in for the work that they will do during the week, thus increasing the likelihood of follow-through. The second characteristic is observation. The definition is an examination of another person's actions or practices to be used to develop new skills, strategies, or ideas. What this looks like is observation occurring during some interaction, but not all. Typically, the coach observes the learner participating in an activity to provide opportunities for discussion and reflection. Observation can happen both formally or informally. It is important so that you as the coach can inform the parent of successes or provide feedback to refine a parent's skill. Observation may include some of the skills listed on the screen. For example, if you give a parent a job, it may sound like this. I want you to watch and see how my face changes when I ask your child to. Or if you are reflecting, it might sound like this. Tell me, what did you see? How did it work? How did you feel? If you're planning, you might ask, how are you going to share this with others in the family home? Our next characteristic is action practice. The definition is the spontaneous or planned events that occur within the context of a real-life situation that provide the learner with opportunities to practice, refine, or analyze new or existing skills. What does this look like? The learner uses new skills developed through coaching interactions during and outside of the session. Action practice is combined with observation. It is an important characteristic. We need the parent to try the new skill or new learning. We need the parent to operationalize their learning while we are there observing so that we can provide feedback or refine the skill. We can identify what worked or didn't work so that we can help them. Practice is how we learn, not just watching someone model a skill. So outcomes for children will be enhanced the quicker and more frequently a parent gets to practice. Another characteristic is reflection. The definition is the analysis of existing strategies to determine how the strategies are consistent with evidence-based practices and may need to be implemented without change or modified to obtain the intended outcome. What this looks like? Following an observation or action, the learner reflects on how the experience worked or did not work. Reflection is the process of allowing the parent to step back and think about what they know, what they just learned, and how they will move forward. Reflection allows the parent to gain a new perspective. When practicing reflection, as the coach, you have to be wide open for the parent's response. You can't coax them to your idea. You need to coach to their idea. There are 4 types of reflection questions. Awareness questions, which promote the parent's understanding of what they already know or do. Examples of awareness questions include, how did that work? How do you know that they learned? Have you noticed a difference between last week and this week? Another type of question is the analysis questions. These help a parent to dig deeper into a topic and analyze their child more consciously. Analysis questions support parents with comparing their current understanding to their desired goal. Examples of analysis questions include, why do you think he did that? What is it you think she's learning right now? Another type of question is the alternate questions. These support a parent in developing a different plan to refine the parent's skill. It helps parents to consider a variety of options to address a desired goal. Examples include, what else could you try? Or maybe how could you do that differently? Finally, action questions help a parent to plan for future actions. They assist the parent in developing a plan for reaching that desired goal. Example questions include, what will you do next? How will you do it? Where else could you do this? Another characteristic important for the coaching cycle is the feedback. The definition is information provided by the coach based on direct observations of the learner by the coach, actions reported by the learner, or information shared by the learner to expand the learner's current level of understanding about a specific evidence-based practice. What this looks like is feedback from the coach occurring after the learner reflects on the situation and may include more information or ideas for further action. Affirmative feedback is like active listening. You are confirming what they are saying. Evaluative feedback supports strengths and appraises potential growth. Informative feedback shares expertise or knowledge. At times, this may be needed, but the feedback should be on the parent idea, providing more information about what the parent has reflected or planned for. Directive feedback instructs and should be used only in safety issues. The end of the coaching cycle starts at the beginning. You end it by planning for the future visit. Ask questions so that the parent can plan for the in-between visits. And now you will have a plan to start with at the next visit. Thank you so very much for attending to this short training. I appreciate all that you do for children.